How to make a piñata by Party Fun Box. All you need is paper, cardboard, flour, water, balloons, and a flat surface. Oh, and a bowl. Use a quality balloon because the cheaper balloons, they will pop. To keep the unused paste fresh, line the bowl with a plastic bag and close it up when you're done for the day. Don't leave it too long, it'll start to ferment. 1 part flour to 1 part water and mix. Warm water works the best. Add the water first and then the flour. If it gets too thick, thin it with water. And cover your work surface. It's going to get messy. For the paste, you can use flour and water. Add a bit of salt to keep away moisture and bugs. You can boil the flour and water to make it smoother. You can use wallpaper paste, watered down glue, or even liquid starch. Blow up the balloon. It should look like a teardrop. If it starts to get extended at the bottom like a light bulb, it's overinflated. Rip the paper with the grain, not against the grain. Otherwise, the paper comes out all these weird shapes. You want to work with torn strips. Torn strips are better than cut strips because they tend to adhere better and it gives you a smoother result. Start laying down the strips. Change the direction as you go. The process goes quite quickly once you get started, but you do have to get your fingers dirty. Put the thickest layer on the top and the thinner layer on the bottom. You don't want the piñata to fall and separate from the string and land on the ground uncracked. Start early. We can't stress that enough. It's a pretty quick process, but it does take a lot of drying time. And you never know how it's going to look. It's a very organic process. Try to get a fairly thick starter layer, but not too thick, as it'll start to go a bit sour and it will take forever to dry. And don't forget to put that hole at the top. You want to put it at the apex of the balloon. If it's too far forward or too far backward, the face won't hang right, and sometimes you won't see the face clearly. Set aside to dry. A couple days later, you have a dry shell. Peel off the little bits that stick out, and you can give it a very, very light sandpapering. With the second layer, you want to work on building up the thickness of the piñata and adding all the features. The noses, eyes, ears, that sort of thing. Use anything, cardboard, crumpled paper balls, extra balloons, toilet paper tubes. The more appendages on the piñata, the more fun it is for the kids to try to knock them off. You can use any kind of tape or glue. Just make sure they're well attached. You can smooth them out in later layers. Sometimes I just put the paste right on the piñata and put dry strips on top. I just slop it all on usually. The paper, the paste, whatever works. Oh, and tape the features onto a dry piñata, not a wet one like I've done here. It makes it much easier. And just try to smooth as you go along. Now we're ready for the third layer. With the third layer, you want to fix the soft spots that will dent in, that aren't as sturdy and strong. Smooth out the rough spots and make sure that top of the piñata is stronger. Sometimes you can use thinner paste and smaller strips to sort of smooth it out and give it a nice appearance. And if you use white office paper for the final layer, you'll need less paint. He does look pretty ugly right now. Arrgh. You can make your piñata unique. Small head, small teeth, big mustache, or big head, big teeth, and a small mustache. So once again, you let it dry. Now the shell is thick enough. For older children, you might want a really thick shell. I've covered it here with cheap house paint. It works as a primer, smooths down the surface, and it's cheaper and easier. You should use a light color, but we happen to have Tangelo, so that's what we used. And you let the paint dry. You can wrap up the paintbrush to keep the paint from drying. Saves time with the rinsing the brush each time. Cut 3 or more circles from cardboard with a couple of holes, and you thread a sturdy nylon cord through the 3 circles, which you sandwich together and use a sturdy knot. We're using wooden discs here because we have them on hand. And we have an old disc here. It's a wooden disc with some epoxy and a nylon cord. I've used a little hot glue here, but that's not necessary. You can do it any number of ways. Just make sure that it's not going to separate from the piñata. That would be very anticlimactic. And again, more paper mache. You could do this before painting. Probably would be a bit better. And you let it dry. You want to fill it with small unbreakable items. We're using little pirate notepads, little plastic pirate patches, eye patches, pirate balloons, and clay packs, as well as little mini pens, pirate pencils, and sticky skeletons, pirate finger tattoos, troubled teeth, and a few extra balloons. We're not using confetti paper shred or anything like that, though that's very good. You want to wrap anything in plastic that's not packaged because it will end up on the ground. We added some rhinestones and some gold coins. Seal the bottom with more paper mache and let it dry. And then paint it up. Paint the features, and with the primer coat on it, the paint should cover it very well. Fabric paint is super for adding details. It's waterproof and adheres really well, and you get some really nice fine detail. Also, with the primer down, you can use less of the expensive hobby paints. Add some details: skull and crossbones, googly eyes, scars, beard stubble, gold and missing teeth, mustache, with anything you can think of. Have the piñata at the end of the party, as children will be outside, dressed in their coats and shoes, and as parents arrive, the kids can be on their way very quickly. Place the kids in line, youngest to oldest, youngest hitting first, and keep those waiting children well back. Insist upon it. Extend the piñata fun by blindfolding the kids and making the piñata bob up and down. Just sling the piñata rope over a branch and grab the piñata bat the second the piñata breaking child lets go of it, because in the aftermath of the piñata, some kid will pick it up and start swinging. And give each kid a plastic bag with their name on it for all the swag.